Welcome to this week's question. What are the futures for AI? To address this, we're going to start with where is AI today? Next, we'll introduce and use the Futures Cones framework. And finally, we're going to share SignalRoad's open source project, Diagnosing an Organization's Health. Okay, where is AI today? In their paper, Watching the AI Hype Bubble Deflate, Wider and Hicks are in agreement with Wall Street's skepticism. Will the massive investment in AI generate enough returns? What will AI enable to achieve these returns? To answer this, we can start by mapping the current AI implementations into evolution layers. The first layer is read, record, respond. This layer took off with ChatGPT, followed by others like Claude and Perplexity. AI is now being embedded in office tools like Microsoft Office and Zoom's web conferencing. From there, we move up into Inform, Guide, Teach. Khan Academy have created their AI teacher, Khan Migo. Mammo screen guides radiologists to possible cancers in X-rays. And MetaAgility informs us of our vertical development level. The third layer is Discover, Create. AlphaFold won a Nobel Prize in chemistry by being able to discover protein structures. ScriptSee in the movie industry creates rapid script analysis, emotional arc mapping, and efficient production planning. This leads us to the last layer, revolutionize, disrupt. We're being told that AI is going to revolutionize or disrupt industry, but little about how. Many of the deployments focus on productivity gains. Articles we read, podcasts we listen to are centered around those first three layers. But to be fair, we don't exactly know yet how AI futures will revolutionize or disrupt the world. So to help us discover how this may emerge, we can use future cones from Joseph Voros' paper, A Generic Foresight Process Framework. Okay, we start by recognizing we're at time now. The past is the past and it can't be changed. But the future hasn't been created yet. That's why it's futures, plural. The days ahead are full of potential. It is up to us to create them. We start with a projected future. This is the baseline. If nothing changes, this is where we will end up. Then we have probable futures because we know that things will change. It is likely to happen. Next is plausible futures. These are based on what could happen. This increases the scope of potential futures. We then have possible futures. This is what we can imagine might happen. More and more futures are starting to emerge. This leads us to preposterous futures. And this is where our imagination ends. We believe they are impossible, that they won't ever happen. Finally, we have our preferred future. It is the future we want to happen, that should happen. It is the future that guides what we do today to create tomorrow and the next day and the next day. Using Future Cones framework, we can now map out the potential for AI futures. Dr. Voros presented a great historical example that shows how this plays out.
We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills.
When President Kennedy made his famous speech, he was guided by a preferred future to keep space a peaceful frontier. The first step was probable. NASA was already working on the Saturn V rocket. The next step was plausible. The advances needed in material science to build the spacecraft, the lunar landing craft. We did require future knowledge, so it was possible to miniaturize onboard computers that were going to guide the Apollo spacecraft. And as the saying goes, the rest is history. But there is one more range of futures we need to think about, and that is our non-preferred futures. A crash landing was only avoided by Neil Armstrong's skill that manually guided the lunar module to a safe landing spot. Let's now apply these steps to AI futures. There is much speculation about artificial general intelligence, human-like intelligence. But what futures do we want AGI to enable? A p-doom number is the probability of the annihilation of the human population. For many in the AI industry, their p-doom number is not 0. Next, earlier we talked about medical breakthrough delivered by AlphaFold. Well, our preferred future may be the reversing of the aging process so that we all live more than 500 years. We can trace the futures we need to achieve this. Another emerging future is that we're starting to see people replaced by AI systems. But will this lead to massive unemployment? As AI develops further, a plausible future is that we start to rely on automated decision making. Will the accumulation of these changes lead to the collapse of hierarchical structures and the rise of a post-industrial age? With so many out of work, will governments have to step in and provide universal, generous income? But as researchers found, free abundance leads to the dystopian future of Universe 25. Okay. So far we've provided a framework to imagine many futures and use this to plot where AI could lead us. Well, here at SignalRoad, we actually have our preferred future. Paraphrasing TeamTopologies, it is to nudge the world into post-industrial organisations that are more humane and effective. Ones that will include recursive structure, TeamTopologies designs, users beyond budgeting's leadership principles and management processes, and many, many more. So what is our plan to get there? Remember our first evolution layer of read, record, respond. Well, this seemed innocuous until we noticed that we're turning into data recordings from call centres, meetings, and web conferences. This is being stored in operational systems which are also implementing AI. Airbnb is using AI with data from these operational systems, reviews, credits, cancellations, etc., to create a dynamic list of the top 2 million guest favourites. At SignalRoad, we are researching how to train AI models to diagnose the health of an organisation. This diagnosis is based on the Integral Map for Organisations, which is described in Chapter 1, Section 2 of our YouTube channel, Unlocking Change. The plan is to use the internal and external data to measure progress instead of activity, people's capability aligned to their role, and cultural development. We want our models to make Deming's most important figures that one needs for management to change from being unknown and unknowable to being known. By being able to shine a light on the workings of an organisation, we believe the health diagnosis will provide the guidance needed to implement post-industrial age structures which are humane and effective. To close out of all of these potential futures, do you know your preferred future? Okay, to address the question, what are the futures of AI? We looked at where is AI today? Next, we introduced and used the futures cones. And finally, we shared SignalRoad's open source project, Diagnosing an Organisation's Health. Thank you for watching. Please add your thoughts, ideas, other questions in the comments below. And don't forget our YouTube channel, Unlocking Change, where you can find much more detail on the explanation of Integral Map for Organisations. Thank you and see you next week.